video games based off of a movie franchise never make the transfer well, and the same could be said about the opposite, even when the aspects of the video game or movie seem like they should make the transfer well. Out of the handful of great franchise games for the NES, one seems to go unnoticed, and it's a shame because Gremlins 2 is actually one of the better games on the system.
Released later in the life of the NES, Gremlins 2 took advantage of the system, creating some nice graphics, gameplay, and even cutscenes with decent animations. Sunsoft picked the color palettes well to allow for very clean looking graphics and accurate to the movie color and styles, and the animations are smooth, even with larger number of enemies on screen. The background's environments are always moving, and the game doesn't really slow down. It is a well-crafted NES title. You control Gizmo in his attempt to get through the office building and stop all the evil gremlins under the leadership of Mohawk. The game presents you with a slew of enemies and weapons and does a good job keeping them all relatively related to the movie. While at the beginning you mostly just have filler enemies like bats and the occasional mutated giant tomato, you eventually get several of the gremlin mutations found throughout the movie, such as flying gremlins, smoking gremlins that spit fire, the big doofy jackrabbit one, fat gremlins, one's throwing plates and another throwing pineapple. You also have bosses which follow the progression of Mohawk as he is seen in the movie, and you also fight the big electric gremlin. As far as items and weapons go, they are all well done as well. First, item wise, you have ones you must find in the game and ones you can buy from Mr. Wing the shopkeeper. You'll find on the levels a flash bulb that kills all the enemies on screen, a pogo stick, a stopwatch, and crystal balls which Gizmo uses as cash in the shop. At the shop you have the possibility of a few items appearing. A balloon which allows Gizmo to float around pits, a potion to fill your life bar, power pack which powers up your current weapon, a heart that fills your life bar and adds an extra heart, and a Gizmo doll that gives Gizmo an extra life. As far as weapons go, you actually upgrade it as time goes on. You start with the mutated tomato referenced in the movie, and then as you finish stages you begin collecting the parts for the bow that Gizmo creates later in the movie. First a match which allows Gizmo to throw fire, then a paperclip, to a bow and arrow, then with the arrow having a fire head. Each upgrade gets a little longer of a reach and a little more power behind it, and each upgrade has a more powerful power-up when bought from the shop.
Now while the game is made well, it is kind of short, only having 5 stages and 4 boss battles, but it makes up for this in difficulty. The game is certainly not easy in any sense of the word, and some of the gremlins are placed in such a way that it's hard to get rid of them without getting hit, and the platforming is nothing to laugh about.
In fact, I would call the game cheap in a few instances. Gizmo can fire his weapon in a diagonal, but is really hard to do, and he usually moves at the same time, making it almost impossible to hit some enemies, and these enemies are usually placed right in the middle of a pit. Platforming is crazy, jumping large gaps that you have to do so from the very last pixel of a ledge. Lots of moving objects and lots of obstacles. Jumping from a conveyor belt over a lava pit to a moving platform is no easy task, and this game is full of things like that. While a veteran gamer will have an easier time, and once you play it through a few times, you'll get the feel for it, but it's still daunting. Thankfully the controls aren't bad, so that helps keep things going smoothly. The boss battles are well balanced surprisingly. Where there are a lot of NES games that have hard gameplay and super easy and sometimes boring bosses, this title differs. Fighting the large bosses is a challenge, and their attacks and patterns are hard to find. They're actually fun.
Gremlins 2 is definitely one of the better games on the system, especially when you consider that it was adapted from a movie. It has great gameplay, follows the movie well, and presents a challenge. Outside of a few cheat shots and the shortness of the game, there isn't much to complain about. If you see it, definitely snatch it up and take it home. Just don't feed it after midnight. I'll see you next time.